Jeremy Pitts and David Schilling will have row number 1. Row 2 will be Andrew Buff and Connor Cleveland. Then it'll be Tim Hartman Jr., Brian Pessolano, Adam Pierson, Rocky Warner, Dave Constantino, James Meehan, Chad Edwards, Mike Coffey, followed by Hunter Bates and Jason Gray. Gabe Marcuccilli right next to JaMike Sowle in row number 8, row number 9, Josh Sunn and Kevin Chaffee. Row 10, Rob Maxon, Jeff Watson. Row 11, Darryl Nutting and Adam Leslie. Row 12, Mike Ostrander and Jim Morgan. Row 13, Chris Johnson and Will Shields. Row 14, Scott Duell and Michael Sabia. And rounding out your field will be Pat Jones and Justin Barber. As they make their way off of turn number 3 and 4. Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet and give the sportsman a little wave. These are the stars and cars of your 2017 Northeast Great Nationals. Ladies and gentlemen, the pace truck gonna make its way off of turn number 3 and 4. A shower of 602 crate power about to send a shockwave on the great race place. It's the Northeast Crate Nationals. Oh yeah!
As they get ready to go, green is out. Down to turn number 1, they go for the first time. David Schilling going to take the long way around here off of turn number 2. He will be your leader as they make their way down to turn 3. Schilling noses out ahead of the 27 of Jeremy Pitts. Pitts right there with them as they come down here on the front straightaway. Connor Cleveland rides in 3rd. Andrew Buff rides 4th. And Brian Pessolano now rounds out your top 5. Just outside of top 5, that's where we find last year's winner, Tim Hartman Jr. He works down on the inside as they work here off of turn number 4. Then it's the Jake Spraker, number 1 J-Car, Rocky Warner right there in the mix. Hartman and Warner together as they work their way down here on the back straightaway, both trying to crack the top 5 for the first time. Up front, all Schilling here off of turn number 4. David Schilling in control with the 1-800-GOT-JUNK number 20 car. Schilling going to lead the way down the back straightaway. Got about a 6-car length advantage over the 27 of Jeremy Pitts. Pitts rides 2nd. Connor Cleveland right there for 3rd. 4th spot continues to be Andrew Buff, while now Brian Pessolano looking to the high side here to turn number 1. He'll swing to the outside of Buff, but can't pull off the pass. Puck's back in a line now down to turn 3. He'll go take a wide line. That's going to open up the inside for Tim Hartman Jr. as they come down and put lap number 5 on the board.
David Schilling up at the front of the field has about 10 car lengths on the 27 of Jeremy Pitts with Connor Cleveland in tow, but this battle for spots 3 through 7 continues to be the one to watch on the racetrack. Rocky Warner going to turn it up to the top side, off at turn number 3 and 4. They're 3 wide off the corner. He's going to go straight to the number 5 spot as he finds some momentum up off the cushion that time. Rocky's still going to go to work on Andrew Buff off at turn number 2 as they bring him down the back straightaway looking to go. Rocky's cranking it up, dancing off the cushion. He pushes a bit that time though off the corner as they come down the front straightaway. He's going to have the number 4 spot, but Buff is still right there. Hartman's still sitting 1 spot out of a top 5 run as they carry him up into turn number 1 and 2. Pessolano right there. Adam Pierson as well. Chad Edwards also looking to crack the top 10 as they work their way down the back straightaway. Meanwhile, David Schilling clicking off lap number 8 with ease up into turn number 1 and 2 as he continues to work that inside lane and keep it going down the back straightaway. At 1-800-GOT-JUNK, car number 20 machine has the battle going into turn number 3 and 4 as he continues to sit at the front, driving it right through the brown. He'll click off lap number 9 this time by. Tim Hartman Jr. following Rocky Warner using that outside lane. The same thing he did 1 year ago in this event. They used the outside to get to the front. He's now cracked the top 5 as they work their way down the back straightaway as David Schilling puts this one 1/10 of the way through his 100 lap Northeast Great Nationals.
Schilling in control as he comes down here into turn number 1. He'll be a half a straightaway away from the tail end of the field as he makes his way down the back straightaway. Got a big margin separating himself and Jeremy Pitts. Pitts has not got that comfort for himself as now Rocky Warner is closing in and closing quickly in on Pitts. Rocky taking a high line down here to turn number 1. He'll take the high line off turn number 2 and take it all the way to the runner-up position. The Flying Squirrel flying up on the outside here off of turn number 4. He is your new second place man as he now sets his sights on the backside of David Schilling. Schilling coming up on the tail end of the field as they work their way down to turn number 3. They'll look down to the inside here, take a low line off of turn number 4. Going to make the pass on Michael Sabia down here to turn number 1 using that low line. And that also is going to force Rocky Warner to change his lanes from the outside to the inside as they work their way to turn number 3. It's Schilling, your leader. Warner rides second. Third spot is Pitts. Buff continues to ride in fourth. And the 22 of Tim Hartman Jr. continues to round out your top 5. That's the way your top 5 run as your leaders make their way down the back straightaway amidst traffic now as they come down here through turn 3 and 4. Schilling the leader at lap 15.
David Schilling holds on to that number 1 spot as they work him up into turn number 1 and 2. Now Rocky going to get in front of Rob Maxon, and now he's got his sights dead ahead on your leader going down the back straightaway. He's cut it down to about 5 car lengths. Schilling having to go to the low side. Rocky's got some daylight up top. They're side by side off the corner. Schilling slides back to the outside, coming down the front stretch. He'll hold the spot on lap number 16, but then Schilling goes to the low side. Rocky says, up top, see you later. New race leader off at turn number 2. That is the 1J of Rocky Warner. Rocky making it look easy as he's gone to the front, up off of turn number 3 and 4. Schilling still trying to hold on to that number 2 spot. Jeremy Pitts holding on to 3rd, 4th, Connor Cleveland, Tim Hartman Jr. 5th. Have to go back a little ways to get to 6th, and Chad Edwards, Dave Constantino 7th, Andrew Buff 8th, Dave Marcuccilli 9th, and rounding out your top 10 is Brian Pessolano. But Rocky Warner now up at the front of the field as he's got a little bit of lap traffic ahead of him, and you got to wonder, Hartman with a long way to go may have something for him along with the 09 of Connor Cleveland, but for the time being, Rocky Warner up at the front. He's already got a half a straightaway on David Schilling down the back straightaway. He works that outside lane as he's got a lot of traffic dead ahead. Meanwhile, we got a battle for 4th starting to develop up off of turn number 4 as Tim Hartman Jr. comes almost side to side with the 09 of Connor Cleveland that time as they work him up into turn number 1 and 2. Cleveland on the outside, Hartman now working the inside as they bring him up off at turn number 2. They're still side by side down into the north side on turn number 3 and 4, but Pat Jones going to get in the way of that battle as Rocky comes down to click off lap number 20.
20 on the board, and the Flying Squirrel in control of this one midway down the back straightaway. Got almost a half a straightaway advantage over your second place man, David Schilling. Schilling riding there in 2nd. Jeremy Pitts rides in 3rd, 4th spot. Andrew Buff. Tim Hartman Jr. continues to round out your top 5. Then it's the 37 of Chad Edwards. Lunchbox back there in 6th spot. Rob Maxon works up on the outside of the 7 of Dave Constantino. Constantino able to make the pass down here into turn number 3. He works the extreme high side of the raceway as they work their way up off of turn number 4. 22 on the board, and Rocky Warner still using a high line around the raceway, and he is really starting to stretch it out here in this 100-lap event. David Schilling just trying to keep Warner in sight as they work their way through turns 1 and 2. Schilling now is cut it down to just 1 lap car between the two as Warner is going to hit more traffic here off turn number 4. They race side by side in front of your leaders. They come to turn 1. Warner going to try and split the difference here. Mike Ostrander and Darryl Nutting were racing side by side for position, but as he comes down off of turn number 4, he'll make it 3 wide here off the corner, so he put 25 on the board with Warner in charge.
1/4 of the way through the Northeast Crate Nationals, and the 1J is up at the front, but he's having some trouble getting by Darryl Nutting and Mike Ostrander. This is going to allow the rest of the field to pedal away, and the car may be on the move right now. Is the 22 at Tim Hartman Jr. He's rolling on the outside trying to get by Jeremy Pitts, but he's got some no daylight on the inside, so he's going to have to go to the outside. Here's Hartman Jr. working him up off of turn number 2 this time. He's about 3 car lengths separating between spot number 3 and him. Pitts keeps running the middle. Hartman's got something on the cushion. We'll see if he can hammer it off of turn number 4, but Pitts doing a great job taking the lane away one more time. Here is 27 go on the board. Warner's still at the front, having a little trouble ahead of him, but here comes Tim Hartman Jr. still trying to get it, and you know Pitts knows he's there. He's sliding up ahead of him to take the line away even more. Hartman going to go a lane higher up off the corner. That's not going to work that time either. As this has happened, David Schilling starting to pedal a little bit closer to Rocky Warner, but Warner may have found the daylight he needed on the inside that time. Maybe not, though, as Nutting still sits there right on the inside, blocking the 1J's way as Schilling trying to come back up. Here's Warner to the inside of the 42 machine, just not able to go anywhere as Schilling works it back on the inside. Rocky may get a little impatient here and say, get out of the way in just a second, but we're going to be 30 laps in the books, and as that happens, Tim Hartman Jr. has cleared the 27 of Jeremy Pitts as they put lap number 30 on the board this time by.
30 laps in, Rocky Warner still searching for a lane, looking for a way by. Some of these cars racing side by side in front of him. Darryl Nutting has been his nemesis here, and now here comes David Schilling. Got one up in smoke in turn number 4. That's going to bring yellow out on the speedway. Yellow lights are on. Michael Sabia going up in smoke down here in turn number 4. And that is going to bring caution out on the speedway with 31 laps complete. 31 green flag laps to start off the Northeast Crate Nationals. Mr. Crate Track USA winner here just a couple of weeks ago, Michael Sabia. He's going to climb down from the car. As Sabia going to be the official reason for the caution on lap 31. Cautions do count to lap 75. You'll see the lap counter is now changed to 32. Cautions do count as they circulate under yellow. This could be the big break for Rocky Warner, and funny to try and say that Rocky needed a break because he got to the front, got there in a hurry, and then once he got there, he literally drove away from David Schilling. But in traffic, Schilling able to run him down. He pulled even. As the yellow flag came out, it looked like Schilling might have had something for Warner in traffic. So we're going to wipe the traffic out now. It'll bring Schilling right alongside Rocky Warner.
The 2017 edition of the Northeast Crate Nationals. Now, that was a tough break for Michael Sabia coming into tonight's racing action. He was only 30 points behind Rocky Warner heading into tonight's action in third spot. He's going to lose a few of them, especially if Rocky stays up in the number 1 position here before this one's all said and done. Rocky with a 19-point lead over Chad Edwards entering tonight's racing action. This is a chance for Connor Cleveland now to jump ahead and move into the top 3s. He currently sits in 5th, just 13 points behind Sabia going in, and David Schilling has a chance to pounce as well, as he was only about 20 points or so behind the 7 of Sabia. As they work their way up off of turn number 3 and 4, Schilling and Warner right there going to look to refire off the corner. Green flag back out on the speedway. They're 3 wide going up into turn number 1 and 2. Rocky says, I don't think so. I'm going to take this spot back off the corner. Here's Jeremy Pitts working up on the outside, and yellow's back out onto the speedway. A no start situation going to be the call on that one. So we're going to try it again here. 38 laps in the books. 62 laps remaining. As they work their way down the back straightaway, double file. We'll go back to green flag racing next time by. Rocky Warner, David Schilling, side by side through turn number 3 and 4. They'll look to fire off of the corner. They're side by side. They touch for a split second as they come down green flag back out onto the speedway. As Rocky Warner going to reassume control up at the front. Keep an eye on Dave Marcuccilli and Dave Constantino looking to pick up a couple positions down the back stretch. Now here comes Chad Edwards as well, working on the inside. 40 laps going to be on the board this time as Rocky Warner still leads this one with 60 to go.
Down to turn number 1 they go. David Schilling hanging on for second. Here's Hartman looking down to the inside of Jeremy Pitts now. Hartman had been making his passes up on the outside. He's going to take it downstairs this time to turn number 3 to challenge Jeremy Pitts. He'll pull even with him, but Pitts, with momentum on the high side, hangs on to third position. Now they come off of turn number 2, and Hartman will get the power to the ground first. He'll take over third position. But now one car stepping out of line, going up to the high side. That's the Dancing Bear Cub. The 7 car of Constantino almost got squeezed into the wall here on the front straightaway. Constantino almost lost touch with the top 5 as Connor Cleveland works down to the inside of him. Cleveland on the inside, Constantino on the outside. That's a side-by-side battle for the number 5 position. Cleveland on the inside trying to keep it. The 7 of Constantino trying to take it away. They settle it back out here. Constantino riding in 5th, 6th spot is Cleveland. The battle for 7th now. Marcuccilli works the outside of Edwards. Edwards on the inside, Marcuccilli on the outside. That's going to be the battle for 7th position as they work off of turn number 2. They come to the line to put 45 on the board, and the Flying Squirrel continues to show the way.
Warner, your leader, sitting in second, still David Schilling. Hartman holding on to third, Pitts fourth, with a battle for fifth is Constantino looking to take that spot for himself. But Connor Cleveland all over his back bumper as Rocky in clean air. No problem getting away from the field, but slower traffic going to be an issue once again for him here within the next few laps or so. As that number 1, Jake Spraker own entry, going to bring him up down the back straightaway, already out to a 3/4 straightaway advantage. Now Connor Cleveland going to get the nod. He'll go ahead of the 7 of Constantino down the back stretch. Constantino going to battle back way up in the loose stuff up off by turn number 3 and 4 as they work their way down the front straightaway. The 09 looking to hold on here with 47 in the books. Rocky Warner starting to see the back bumper of the 96 of Rob Maxon now as they push through turn number 3 and 4. He's going to approach him quickly, and he's right in his lane now with 48 on the board. So it's Warner, Schilling, Hartman, Pitts, Cleveland, your top 5, Constantino, Marcuccilli, Edwards, Pessolano, and now a 3-way battle for the end of the top 10 is JaMike Sowle now going to work his way up into a top 10 running position here. As 49 go on the board, we're going to go to the halfway side next time by. But now a battle for the number 2 spot. David Schilling under fire from the 2-time and defending champion of this event as Tim Hartman Jr. has caught the 20. As that happens, Richie Peterson's got the X in the air. Halfway sign is out, 50 and 50 to go.
50 laps remaining for Rocky Warner, and he is once again in traffic down here off of turn number 2. Warner now navigating his way up through turns 3 and 4 using the high line, putting cars down a lap at his will down here into turn number 1. Got to go back ways to find your second place race. And now they've got them side by side in front of them. That's going to be David Schilling and Tim Hartman Jr. squaring off. Schilling trying to make a pass on the outside. Hartman down to the inside. Pat Jones was there. There's a little bit of contact off of turn number 4. Now Hartman clears Jones. Hartman going to go up to the outside of Schilling now. He'll drive it in a little bit deeper down at turn number 3. They're side by side. Here off at turn number 4. Schilling on the inside will prevail. Hartman looking for room. Up on the outside, he's got Rob Maxon right ahead of him as they come off at turn number 2. At the race for second, Rocky Warner, he is checked out on the front, continues to work his way through traffic here with 54 on the Advanced Auto Parts lap counter. The race for second, still one of the best on the raceway. Tim Hartman Jr. all over the backside of the 20th David Schilling as they come down to put lap number 55 on the board.
This battle for second continuing to heat up as now Jeremy Pitt's going to look to try to get into the fray as well up through turn number 1 and 2. He's caught in the back bumper of Hartman that time, and as this happens, Rocky Warner just starts to get away. You have to wonder if when he was in lap traffic a little bit earlier, he was saving the tires a little bit. With 56 on the board is now Schilling trying to hold on. Jim Morgan crosses over right in front. Hartman having to make an evasive action to try to hold on to the race car that time, and that allows Schilling to get away down the backstretch, and he's going to get a couple cars in front of him. Hartman going to play catch-up as Ostrander looks like he slowed for a second. He definitely bobbled off the corner, but keeps it rolling as this battle continues. Rocky Warner almost a half a track ahead of second and third now as they work him up through turn number 1 and 2. David Schilling doing a masterful job staying in that runner-up position, but Hartman really starting to pedal down. Hartman may be young, but he's a veteran here in Sportsman competition as he works his way off the corner, still trying to get Schilling with 58 on the board, but as this happens, Rocky Warner continues to work his way down the back straightaway as Connor Cleveland now works his way back up on the racetrack. Car slowing up in turn number 2. That is the 7 of Dave Constantino. He will slow down the backstretch, and as they bring him down the front straightaway, that will bring Yellow out with 41 laps remaining. So Rocky Warner rounding out your top 5 now will be the 37 of Chad Edwards. Will Shields going to pull out of the way. 6th, Dave Marcuccilli. 7th, JaMike Sowle. 8th, Adam Pierson. 9th, Brian Pessolano. And rounding out your top 10 now is the 11 of Josh Sunn.
While we are under caution, we'll pass along our 50-50 winner for tonight, our cash prize, going back to Johnstown with Kevin Edwards. Kevin Edwards from Johnstown, $803. Richard, off the Flying Squirrel, we've got 63 on the board as they come to the line. We'll see 64 as Richie Peterson shows them the white flag this time by. Rocky Warner, David Schilling, your front row, back in row 2. Tim Hartman Jr. on the inside, the 27 of Jeremy Pitts on the outside. Chad Edwards and Dave Marcuccilli make up row number 3, restarting from row 4. Last Friday night's feature event winner, JaMike Sowle. The 7-11, he has been fast here in 2017. Picked up the win last Friday night. Brian Pessolano going to restart from the outside of him as they work their way down here into turn number 3. Then it is a couple of the North Country drivers, Adam Pierson and Josh Sunn. That's your top 10 restarters as we go back to green down here to turn number 1. 65 on the board, and Rocky Warner picks up where he left off. On our restart, Warner leads once again.
Car cracking the top 5 for the first time tonight off of this restart. The driver of the Page Trucking, car number M1 of Dave Marcuccilli. For a guy who's never raced here, looking pretty good right now as Rocky Warner going to try to get back out in front big time. He's got the 20 of Schilling, who bobbles that time through turn number 3 and 4 as Rocky just dances off the cushion on the outside lane, making it look easy. We got a battle right in front of him, right in front of Marcuccilli, that is, as Jeremy Pitts and Tim Hartman Jr. fight for that number 3 spot down the back straightaway. They're still side by side working it down up off of turn number 3 and 4, and as they come through the corner, that'll be lap number 68 down. Here's we're almost to the final 30 in this one. As that time Hartman and Pitts touch, that's going to open the door for a second as Chad Edwards had a great look on the M1 of Marcuccilli on the inside that time. Down the back stretch they ride, down through turn number 3 and 4. They'll put lap number 69 on the board this time by as Warner still with about 8 car lengths, but the battle for second and the battle for spot number 5 right now really starting to heat up as Chad Edwards going to bring him off the corner down the back straightaway. But as this happens, Rocky Warner making it look easy up top. 30 laps to go this time by.
70 in, 30 remain. The Flying Squirrel setting a pace up on the front. Got himself about a 10-car length advantage over the 20 of David Schilling. Then we go back a ways to find a great race back there for third. Tim Hartman Jr. and Jeremy Pitt still squaring off side by side. Back there for third position. Pitts and the Grennan Project Services, number 27 car, able to hold a slight advantage over the winner of this event a year ago. He's actually got 2 nationals under his belt. Hartman right now trying to advance a position down here at the expense of Pitts, but Pitts not going to give up. He hangs on to that third spot. Keith Hartman running fourth. Dave Marcuccilli, the outsider. Rounding out your top 5. Brian Pessolano working the outside of Chad Edwards, his ex-teammate. The 2 of them go side by side down here to turn number 1. It's Edwards on the inside, Pessolano on the outside. Edwards with the advantage right now as they go to turn number 3. Leader Rocky Warner now with not far away from the tail end of the field once again. Less than a half a straightaway separate him and the tail end of the field. He'll start to bear down on traffic as he comes down to hit the 3/4 mark. 75 laps now in with 25 remain.
Rocky has caught the back of the field with a full straightaway advantage on second place. David Schilling. Field's starting to string out a little bit as they work their way down the backstretch. As that battle between Pessolano and Edwards really the only side-by-side affair. But a driver on the move right now. Started all the way back in the 20th starting position. Jeff Watson currently up to spot number 7. Watson up to the 7th position now, looking to only a couple of spots out of a top 5 run as the driver from Sheffield, Massachusetts, really putting on a show to get up through the field as he's whistling through traffic. Meanwhile, as they work him up into turn number 1 and 2, Rocky Warner still out in front of this one. He clears a couple of lap cars down the back straightaway as they work him down off of turn number 2. Jeremy Pitts now on the back bumper of the 20 of David Schilling. He's found something on the inside. Pitts going to work him side by side off of turn number 4 as they click off the flag stand. That time with 78 in the books. It's going to be the 20 of Schilling holding on, but Jeremy Pitts right there. And meanwhile, Rocky Warner having the same problem we had about 40 laps ago in this machine. Nowhere to go to try to get by Mike Ostrander and Jim Morgan. The hole's starting to shorten up a little bit more. He may have a little daylight this time, though, as he drives it right up the middle. Puts a slide job on Mike Ostrander. Hey, that's one way to do it. Up off of turn number 2 as they work him down the back straightaway and into turn number 3 and 4. He'll have 20 laps to go this time by.
Rocky Warner continuing to show the way. That race back there for second was going side to side once, or third was going side to side once again. Got car turned around here in turn number 4. And that is going to bring yellow out on the speedway. Yellow lights are on. Back in spot number 11 is car number 11, Josh Sunn, who always runs good when he comes down here to the Albany Saratoga Speedway. Regular up at the Bear Ridge Speedway. So 80 on the board. Getting ready to go back to green. Cautions do not count. As we get ready to go, as they come off of turn number 4, the number 1 car and the number 1 spot, Rocky Warner, going to mash the gas down to turn number 1. David Schilling trying to come right along with him. Here comes Tim Hartman Jr. Hartman now got the power to the ground off turn number 2, and he's going to make it a 3-car race up on the front. TH2 on the move here in the final 20 laps of this event. Hartman did it a year ago. Right now, looking at the backside of Rocky Warner, but got a little too wide off turn number 2, and it's going to cost them. It'll cost them 2 spots as they go down to turn number 3. Hartman will re-cue as he comes off of turn number 4. Down to turn number 1 they go. Rocky Warner picking picking up where he left off quickly, putting 8, 9, almost 10 car lengths between himself and Schilling, but we got yellow out on the speedway. Yellow lights are on the Sowle Trailer Repair number 711 car of JaMike Sowle. The reason for the caution, he was a winner here a week ago. Picked up the feature event victory at Jeremy Pitts.
Who was that, Edward?
And Chad Edwards. Tim Hartman Jr. and Dave Marcuccilli come from row 3 as we go back to green. Down to turn number 1 they go. Edwards now going to get the run off at turn number 2. Rocky Warner got too wide up there at turn 2. Now Schilling sticking the nose down low. Edwards up high. Warner going to come off the middle. They touch here on the front straightaway. 83 on the board. They touch in turn 1 as they work off at turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, here's Rocky Warner coming back at Chad Edwards. Edwards on the high side, Warner on the inside. Down to turn number 1 they go, side by side. They work their way up off of turn number 2. Edwards gets the run off the corner. Can Rocky Warner pull up in front of Edwards? He'll slide him off turn number 4 as they come to lap 85. Edwards sees the run of Warner, nose back into the lead. What a battle we got up at the front, and here comes Dave Marcuccilli as well, the driver out of Montezuma, New York, working his way up on the outside lane, looking to get by David Schilling, but the battle for the lead turns the wick up even more. Here's Chad Edwards battling to the inside. They've been the top 2 on tour all year. They go down the back straightaway, wheel to wheel, as they bring them down onto the north side. Down into turn number 3 and 4, they fly. Rocky Warner on the top, Chad Edwards on the bottom. They'll drag race to the flag stand this time. Warner still holding on. 87 and 13 laps remaining as Rocky Warner that time got a great run off of 1 and 2, but Chad Edwards going to get a great run on exit of the corner looking to follow him. They may not want to leave that high lane open though, as here comes Marcuccilli trying to power it up on the outside. 88 go in the book this time by. 88 and 12 to go, and Dave Marcuccilli working it up on the outside. Oh baby, baby, here's it comes. The number 1 working it down. He'll be your second place man now. Marcuccilli looking to work him side by side off the corner with 11 laps left to go. He's gone to the number 2 spot. He looks to chase down the 1J even harder. These two have battled countless times over the state of New York, and they're looking to do it one more time as they have 10 laps to go. This time by off of turn number 4. Oh, is this going to be a great finish? Down to 10 to go this time by Dave Marcuccilli up on the high line, trying to get a run on Warner. Warner going to lead the way off of turn number 2. David Schilling got nothing for him back there in 3rd spot. Schilling running the inside line, just trying to hold on to that number 3 position. He has got Chad Edwards and Jeremy Pitts back behind him, racing side by side. Now Pitts will file on the outside line off of turn number 2, but down the back straightaway they run just the way they ran here on the front stretch. Edwards trying to get a run down low once again, looking at a different line as they come to turn number 1. Up on the front, it's still Rocky Warner showing the way. Dave Marcuccilli may have heated the tires up a little too much in that number 1 car. Marcuccilli off of turn number 4, watching Rocky Warner pull away down here into turn number 1. Warner, your leader, off turn number 2 with Marcuccilli back there in 2nd. The race for 3rd now sees Jeremy Pitts work the outside of David Schilling. Schilling still trying to hang on to that inside line. That is going to allow Pitts to make his way by for 3rd. Pitts, your new 3rd place man. David Schilling back to 4th. Chad Edwards rounds out your top 5 as your leader, coming down to the 5 to go sign. It's 95 in and 5 remain here for Rocky Warner. The Flying Squirrel up at the
the front of the field. Dave Marcuccilli's running out of racing room and time to try to run down the 1J machine as they push him up off of turn number 4 this time. 4 laps left remaining in what may be the last Nationals run for Rocky Warner as he pushes him up off of turn number 2. He may have some trouble getting by a few cars here before this is all done. As I say that, he makes his way up on the outside of Mike Coffey with ease, brings it down the front stretch, now just 3 more laps to go. The field working its way up into turn number 1 and 2. Marcuccilli holding on to that number 2 spot. Third since Jeremy Pitts. Fourth, David Schilling. Rounding out your top 5 is the 37 of Chad Edwards. 2 to go sign out on the speedway, this time by for the Flying Squirrel of Rocky Warner. He works his way down into turn number 1 and 2 once again, continuing to power it up on the top side. He's going to have a full straightaway advantage over Marcuccilli as Mike Coffey pulls off right in front of the top 5. He'll bring it down this time by 1 lap to go for the Flying Squirrel. The Jake's Breakers used car number 1J machine, as he works his way down the back straightaway for the 7th time on the King of Dirt Tour and for the 2nd time in Northeast Crate Nationals history. Rocky Warner is your Nationals champion. Second will be Dave Marcuccilli. Third, Jeremy Pitts. Fourth, David Schilling. Fifth, Chad Edwards. Sixth, Tim Hartman Jr. Seventh, Brian Pessolano. Eighth, Jeff Watson. Ninth, Josh Sunn. And rounding out your top 10 will be the 173 of Adam Pierson. So Rocky Warner, leaving no doubt for his 2nd career Northeast Crate Nationals championship. We are going to bypass victory lane out here on the front straightaway as Rocky Warner does have a quick turnaround with the modifieds coming out here in just a second. So he's going to make his way over there. That'll do it for the Northeast Crate Nationals tonight. Again, like to thank all of our sponsors that make this possible, and what a 100-lap feature event that was. As the modifieds coming out next, we'll send it back over to Dan Martin.
Well, thank you, Mike, as the small block modifieds going to make their way up onto the racing.